I love it. Okay, now it's connecting. There you are.
Hey! It wouldn't be totally right.
Girl, don't make me nervous.
Some kind of miscue around like,
Let's see.
which exactly button do I push again? And like, how come this isn't working? Hey! But I was able to see all the boo things coming through. I see Ayana's on, and I see Etta was on. And
hey, Camille. I love you. Look amazing.
Thank you. You look amazing.
So we pull it together. We did a quick little test yesterday, and
And it was not all this.
I love it. We pull it together when we need to, right?
Girl,
oh my gosh.
Needed to. Yeah, because not only yesterday did I not look like this, but I didn't look like this at all today. I'm just like right now. Literally.
You know, girl, you and me both. I'm so happy everyone's joining in. This is so great.
So fun.
Right. Well, happy to see you.
Happy
and glad
to
everything
see you.
worked out. Thank you, Lauren. All the red lip going on.
I know, girl. Love it. Love it. Love it. I see you.
Well, this is great. I think we have a good number already to get started.
So fun.
We are so excited. As you know, we are just getting ready for 2021, and everyone's ready to like turn or rip the page,
burn the page, forward. Burn the book.
Yeah, and everyone's thinking about just, okay, moving forward, what do you want out of next year? You know, how do you want things to be different, better, more abundant in your life for next year? And for me, the best way that I can do that is through a vision board. And I know you've been, oh my gosh, I've been doing vision boards in probably about my middle 20s, and you've been leading workshops about vision boards, and I was able to join one. So I'm so happy to be here with you to have a little girls chat.
That long?
Yeah, it's been years and years ago. So I know that I've had amazing blessings that have come out of things that I've originally put on a vision board, and you have too. So excited about the conversation. But first, some housekeeping. One. This is informal, obviously. So you guys, some of you know us. If you don't, you'll get to know us really soon. Chime in the chat, say, hey girl, say, yeah, I agree, ask a question, do whatever, so we know that you're there and that you're engaged. Two, I did mention that we're going to be talking about visioning and how to approach your thoughts for 2021. But we're going to be cutting paper and going through that. But if you have a magazine, feel free to thumb through it, and you might get inspiration from what you're hearing today, and also what you may be seeing as far as visuals that you're looking at. So feel free to do that. Yeah. And then Rhino, you have also another housekeeping update.
I do. And I just want to say, Tam, that your hair is just so amazing, sister. What is going on with all this bounce?
Girl, trying to. You the same.
Girl, you the same?
With all the curls.
Luscious Rucker roots that we've got going on. So one of the most awesome things about not only what we are doing here together today, which is really about, you know, goals, vision boards, visioning, turning a new chapter, as you said, Tam, in 2021, and continuing to strive to reach our wildest dreams and goals, which is so awesome. So there is a fantastic hair care company out in this world that used to be a dream. It used to be nothing more than an idea of two sisters who had this wonderful idea to take their family traditions of natural hair care and farming and agricultural and all kinds of things organic, and they have combined forces and have created a hair care company that is doing magnificently in the wild world called Rucker Roots. And we are so pleased that not only do Tam and I both independently use Rucker Roots, we're big fans, but they are a Black Girl Magic sister-owned amazing company who, again, was a dream and is now a full-fledged company. So there are many of you who are out there in this world who also have a vision, we're talking about that today, of a business or of a aspiration, and hopefully our sponsor, Rucker Roots, will also be motivation for you that you too can do it. You can create whatever you want as long as you continue to focus and work towards your vision. So thank you to Rucker Roots, who's going to be giving away a full 4-part system, their smoothing system, which is so awesome if you want to do your hair straight. Also works a lot of the products for curly hair. Really cool. So they're going to give that away to one viewer who is following both with Grace and Grapes. So following Tam and following Inspire Brand Consulting, and engages in today's conversation. So get those comments rolling and make sure you follow both Tam and I, and we'll be delighted to announce our winner in a couple days.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great. So again, feel free to leave comments and definitely follow both of us if you may be only following one. And I think there could be some people that may be following just me or just you. So how about we start out with some introductions? I'd be happy to start.
Yes, go ahead and start.
Yeah, if you don't know me, I'm Tam, Tamara Greider Harris, and I run a blog called Grace and Grapes. And it's really a forum to celebrate self-care, prioritizing yourself, motherhood, good food and recipes, and overall just being your best self and taking that and really talking about how to prioritize yourself so you can live that best life while addressing challenges and also giving yourself grace. So that's really what we're trying to talk about through Grace and Grapes. And it's through the journey that I've been on. There's been a lot about how do you get from A to Z? How do you move from struggle to triumph? How do you do that? And vision boards has been a real part of that. So really excited to have this conversation. A little about me. I'm not from DC. I'm from Wisconsin, but I live in DC.
Might as well be from DC at this point.
Did I say that? Is that happening?
Yeah, you did. You did. I heard it.
Yeah, I am actually not, but I've been here, I think 8 or 9 years now. So it's almost got my street card in DC, but not quite, right? And I live here with my husband, my stepdaughter, my daughter who's 2 years old, and one on the way, and is really excited about where life is and where it's going. Professionally, I work for a nonprofit called Kaboom, where it's all about how do you address racial inequities that get in the way of kids thriving in life and playing. So that's what I do in my life and for a living. And that's relevant because some of the things that I just mentioned were on vision boards from 10 years ago. So it may not happen today, it may happen in the future, but I'm a real advocate for seeing things that have been a vision at one point in time really come to fruition. So that's me. I've known this lovely lady, Ryan, for almost 20 years now. We met right after college. Crazy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Seriously. And I just love, with Ryan, we have a connection, the sister friends forever, but an ever growing and evolving bond because we also became mothers at the same time in life. And we have 2 little girls who are 2 weeks apart. And it's been just 2 weeks. It's been amazing going through the journey and discovering new things along the way over and over again. So, and we're both also just really always in pursuit of being our best selves. So happy to have this conversation with you, and I'll turn it over for you for your introduction.
Yay! Yeah. And I get to be your friend, which is you're so fun. This is really fun. It's fun to see you and participate in this way. Okay, so for those of you who I am meeting for the first time, I am Ryan Lasan, and I'm originally from the Washington, D.C. area, from a place called Reston, Virginia. And my husband and I have relocated to the Detroit area last year. So we are here. I own a company called Inspire Brand Consulting, and I am a transformational leadership coach. And essentially what that means is I work with high achieving, specifically Black women who are dealing with, and unbeknownst to them, really, what they want to do is they want to advance, right? That's like the thing we all want to do. We want to advance. We want to move up in our career. We want to start our businesses. We want our businesses to scale. We want these things. We're very ambitious. And yet our mindset can be the thing that is limiting us. It can be the thing that is keeping us from really being able to gain momentum by taking consistent action. And so what I have found is that many people are really trapped in their confidence gap. And I call it a secret confidence gap, because secret from 2 perspectives. And we'll talk a lot about this actually in our discussion today, but it's secret in one way in that, you know, as a high achieving person, or just as a person in general, it can be very difficult to talk about your fears. It can be very difficult to talk about, you know, self-limiting beliefs that you have, that you believe that you're not enough for the things that you want, or imposter syndrome can really affect high achievers, perfectionism, distractionism, these mindsets. So it can be difficult to talk about. But it's also secret in that our beliefs live in our subconscious mind. So we are most of the time not really privy to the things that we believe We just believe them. So if you want to advance, you want to move forward, and you're finding that you're stuck, it's most likely that you have belief systems that are outdated, they're no longer serving you, and they're getting in your way. So I help specifically, again, high achieving Black women to close their secret confidence gap so that they can advance. They can feel really good about themselves. Now, that does not mean that people that I work with are, you know, pooping out rainbows and cupcakes. Life still is life. But the idea is that people that I'm working with are learning how to really manage their thoughts, manage their feelings, and in spite of fear, you know, move forward anyway. And that's the goal. So that's me. I have a 2-year-old and a beautiful husband. And that is, you know, one of the things I think, as Tam said, our relationship keeps evolving and deepening at the same time. So it's like it gets bigger and so much more in depth just over the decades that we've been friends. And this journey of motherhood has been so fun to travel along with a really, really dear sister friend. We've got 2 little yummy girls that we post about, talk about, giggle about, trade little secrets about between she and I. So it's fun. So that's me in a nutshell.
I love it. And Ryan is so humble. I can tell you that personally and professionally, I've had so many conversations. I'm like, hey, I'm this thing at work, what am I going to do? Or should I move from one thing to the next? And how do I do that? And in just conversation, I've been so just blessed by your insight and your knowledge. So if anyone is on the line right now and it's in a place of just feeling stuck, I encourage you to talk to Ryan, because she's really helped me in informal and informal ways. No, of course, I truly mean that. I know a lot of folks on this call can attest to the same thing. So let's get to vision boards.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and so let me just be very clear. I'm a person that has had a vision board for a number of years. I have seen my visions come to life in amazing and beautiful ways, which I'm so grateful for. And that's my level of experience, what it means for my life. Ryan has done numerous, does a lot of reading and a lot of coaching about vision boards. So I would love to first hear just from you about why should someone do a vision board? What do you get out of it? And just kind of really shape, you know, what it does for someone's psyche to create one.
Yeah.
Yes. Maddie Cakes. Ryan is a healer. Go to inspire. I love these comments.
Oh, so sweet.
Thank you, Maddie. 2 great ladies. We are reading and talking. So just love that. Thank you for the comments so far.
Absolutely. Thank you. I receive all of that. And thank you so much. So the idea behind a vision board. So let's start with what is visioning. Visioning is something we do all day, every day. It is the way that the mind works. It's one of the beautiful aspects of our mind. And we vision, you know, about everything. We have this constant movie theater, movie projector in our minds that are always scanning and projecting the future, projecting what's going to happen. And the point of that is that we can rehearse, we can prepare ourselves for the future. And that's simply what visioning is. But there's a way to use visioning where it's not just sort of the natural default process that someone's going through, but it's used with intention. And that's when you are intentionally focusing on mental and emotional rehearsal around a particular outcome. And there have been a lot of studies that have shown this to be very effective, for instance, in Olympic athletes who are preparing for their particular sport, their event. And studies have actually shown that if an athlete is doing their mental rehearsal, but they're like really in it, they are absolutely envisioning, they're on the basketball court, they can feel the ball, they can see the hoop, they can hear, you know, all of the sounds in the arena, they're taking it all in, they're really in the experience, their muscles are firing, all this is in their mind, they're doing their free throws, their mind and body. So our mind literally is our body. It's not just our brain, but think about your nervous system. The whole nervous system in this experience is activated. And what the studies have found is that the body and mind actually have no idea that it is only mental rehearsal. The body mind is preparing just as if it were like a workout or a practice or whatever. And that's really important because we can use that same technique and use it to focus on our goals and focus on practicing and preparing ourselves to, take action and achieve those goals. But here's the thing. Your mind is doing it anyway. And 80% of our thoughts are fear-based thoughts. So there's a good chance that your mind, as you're thinking about your goals, you're thinking about your future, that it's projecting really scary outcomes. And that is also, your body, again, does not know the difference between what is actually happening or what you are rehearsing. So we often are spending a lot of time using our visioning tool to really scare ourselves and to keep ourselves frozen. So the idea with a vision board is to create a visual representation of what your goals are so that you can sit in front of it or kind of meditate in front of it and see yourself achieving the things that are on your vision board. You are doing that mental, emotional practice and rehearsal so that you are like over exaggerating the experience of having already experienced it so that your body and your mind are convinced, one, that it's happening, two, that it's possible, and three, that you've already created it. When that happens, you are much more in line with the things that you want. There is alignment there. And you have primed yourself mentally and emotionally to do the things or take action on the things that you want to have versus the other way, which is scaring ourselves that we simply cannot have the things.
Yeah, I love that. I think like for me, what I hear is just kind of normalizing the vision. Sometimes the things that we want just feel so unattainable. We put them on a pedestal and they just kind of sit there and in a way where we don't know how to get there. So if you want to get to a certain position in your career, if you want to have a family and in your current state, you don't see how that can happen. That's where the fear comes in. And I think for me, seeing the vision means I'm embracing it every single day. It's a part of my life now. Like I don't have that house I may want, but that's a part of my life. I say hello every morning to it. I say good night. I think about it and it helps me think that that's not so unattainable. And I think what happens subconsciously is you can take the steps to help you get there. We don't think of it that way, but we do. I think for me, it's like, I think of, it's how do I check myself? Like if I want to be married, how am I nurturing relationships in my own life right now? Am I nurturing unhealthy ones? If I want to be president of a company, what am I doing every day in my job to show up? If I want to have the body of Beyonce, what am I eating?
Right.
What am I doing? So I think for me, it's what you're saying makes so much sense because it really calls to light. What are you doing? What's the vision that you want? Normalize it, and then also check yourself into thinking about, are there things you could be doing that can help or hinder your realization of that vision?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I love what you said, Tam, that when you look at your vision board and you look at that house on your vision board and you're like, hey house, I love you. That's important because if instead the experience was you looked at that house and it invoked fear within you, or it invoked a sense of like, I want this thing, but I don't think I can have it. How am I going to get it? What's it going to be? When's it going to come? When's it going to be here? I'm never going to even have the money, the furniture, all of that, the hamster wheel that happens in the mind. When we get caught on that, there's a really good indicator that the person and their desire are not in alignment. There's fear there. There's fear that's blocking that. And our thoughts and our feelings create our behavior. So as you said so beautifully, if you want to be the president of your organization and every time you're in a meeting and you want your voice to be heard, that that this is like part of what you are focusing on to be known, get your personal brand, understood by people, and you can't have your voice heard because you're afraid of it. Again, there's this disconnect. You may want it you may want it as much as you want anything else. It may be the thing that you have spent your entire life dedicated to achieving. And if you don't believe or feel that there is ability to achieve it, it's not going to happen. And so the idea here is to, as you said so beautifully, really create that relationship with the things that you want that says, this is normalized. I can have you. This is something that I'm meant to have. In fact, this is something that I already have in life. I just haven't gotten there in time yet, but I already have it. So if I already have it, and if it's actually already me, how do I today get to be that person already? How do I do that now? You know,
I already have it. That's so powerful. It's also claiming that you already have it and being grateful for it, you know, expressing sincere gratitude for, I am so grateful for the house that I am going to have one day. It's going to be beautiful for my family. I can't wait till the day, and so thankful when I get a promotion. I am excited about it. What amazing things can I do? I think like showing gratitude for things you're claiming in advance is also a key part of prayer too. It's, you know, what do you want? What are you hoping for? And then how can you express gratitude for those things that you are so certain are going to come your way? I think that's so important.
Yeah, I think that is spot on. You know, we've got all these different distinctions, different names for things, but visioning, prayer, intention setting, I mean, essentially, it's really the same thing. It is this idea of putting forth what you want and believing that you can have it, and then taking steps to move in that direction. And gratitude really is the key emotion that can shift us out of that perspective of lacking and wanting to being in flow with the things that we have. Now, I also want to say, like, in the work that I do is with very high achieving women, you know, we want things to be done pretty instantaneously, and we don't want to do them again. So when I talk to my clients, people are like, I'm so frustrated because I'm still afraid, Ryan. And we've been talking about this for weeks or months or years or whatever it is, but I'm still afraid. Yes, honey, you're going to be afraid because you're a human being. Like, we don't get to not have fear in our lives. It just is part of the package. It's part of this earth suit that we decided to inhabit. So fear's part of it. But how do we shift out of fear and move into the direction of the things that we want to have? And gratitude is a huge, like, forklift out of the quicksand or out of a confidence gap. And so just today, for instance, I was a little bit in a funk, you know, just like sort of on the side. This is nothing to do with vision board, but I told you this yesterday. My computer is literally falling apart.
Yeah.
There's like never a good time for that, but certainly not before, you know, a live event like this one.
Right.
So I'm a little bit on edge. I'm a little bit like, you know, grinding my teeth. Fortunately, not literally. Anyway, and I'm feeling irritated. I don't want to feel irritated. I love my life. It's beautiful. Like, let me check myself. And it took not just once, but it took multiple times today to have an internal conversation with myself that said, Ryan, you are fine. Like, your life is beautiful. And it's not to say don't feel what you feel. It is to say, think, as you said, think about the things that you're grateful for. Get out of this funk, because in this funk is where I'm now creating my life. So how can I get out of it so I can, like, create something different? And that literally is what a vision board can do. It can help us to get out of this idea that something that we want to have is not possible for us.
Yeah, I think that's so right. And I think it's also with that giving yourself some grace too, where I have so many vision boards, it doesn't make any sense. I have, my current one is a vision wall that's in my meditation space, and it's like quadrants, right? And you know, we want things when we want them. I want all things to be done right now. I may be killing one section, other one I'm sucking wind. These goals are not happening. That will be on every vision board for the rest of my life. But I think it's giving yourself grace too, where you may have 3 or 4 big goals you want to achieve. It's saying, you know what, this is going to be something that's not as attainable, but possible still. And I'm going to work at it longer, and that'll happen. Some things will happen very quickly, but there'll be certain things that may be on there. You may have to retape it and evolve it over time, and it may still be there. So I think it's one thing is vision boards are great for giving you focus. It helps me focus my attention and my prayers. What am I asking for? I've already created this amazing vision board that is crystallizing what I want. And how can I do all the things, prayer, working at it, talking, what can I do to make that happen? But also saying, you know what, I'm going to give myself some grace, because that's where the fear comes in. If you're fearful it won't happen, it won't happen. But if you say, you know what, I don't know how it's going to happen, but by process of doing this envisioning, it will come to life in some kind of a way if it's meant for me to have. I think that's just so important to remember that, and you were also so pleasant while you were so pissed off about your
Oh, it was so irritated.
I know,
Oh,
but you were
gosh,
so pleasant.
it was so tough. But no, you're absolutely right. And, the other thing is like, I read this article a long time ago when I was doing my coaching study around the idea that we are multiple personalities. So not to say that we have a disorder, but within us, there are multiple personalities, and each personality has its own intention. Mm-hmm. So let's use weight, because it's like an easy, it's an easy indicator. So there is inside of me, there is a girl who really wants to eat ice cream at 1 o'clock in the morning every single night. Like, I love it, right? Another girl lives inside of me who would rather I eat a salad. Well, these two people are at war. Sometimes the girl who likes to eat ice cream wins. Sometimes the girl who likes salads wins. Yeah. And yet, I want to maintain a certain weight. Whomever's winning the most is racking up those points. Yeah. Okay, easy said. Now, I may be able to still maintain my weight and eat ice cream every now and again. So at least, I think what we're both saying is that it's not that you don't need to have any fear, or that you need to have like this, sort of, again, rainbow idea of acceptability about your dreams. It's really not about that. It is about processing through your fears so that you can overcome them, because they will be hindrances. And it's about amping up your strengths so that you can, move forward more quickly. So wrapping this idea up is that you can be afraid of something and you can still be winning, right? Yeah. Like most likely, if you're winning, you're still, something about you is a little bit afraid. So don't wait for the fear to vanish before you take action on your goals. Notice it, recognize it, talk to it, reparent yourself, get support, find a therapist, find a coach, all those kinds of really important things, and manage your fear and move forward on the things that you want to have. But the fear is going to be there. It's just like part of the programming. So you can do both. It's about who's going to win that battle.
Yeah. And the fear will change over time too. I think, it evolves. My first vision board, I was 25. I was probably a comms assistant, like left marketing, and was in communications at Colgate, New York. I had a lot of responsibility, very low on the totem pole, right? And I put on my vision board, vice president of communications. And I thought, that is crazy. Like that just seemed like something that I would have to have so much more experience, knowledge, confidence than I would have at that time. And that was also so many years ago. And now that's not my title now. I do lead communications, but now that's not my title. But that title I can do. Like that job, I can have that. It's not scary anymore. So I feel like over time, the fear that I had and the uncertainty in general, with time, with me working at my craft, that is not fearful anymore. I can step into that role and be confident in that. And that's okay with the vision board to have it happen over time. But I think the fear can change and evolve, and being patient with yourself for that to happen.
Such a good point, Tam. And one of the reasons that your fear has evolved is because you did the doing as an assistant. Like you did the doing, and then you did the doing of the next role, and the doing of the next role, and the doing of the next role. You didn't stop there and just like want this thing, right? Like you kept moving. And so as you moved, you also recognize, I can do this. I am a badass. Like I am smart. All your confidence grew. So it's by doing. Oftentimes we can get really stuck in our visions or the things that we want to have in paralysis, in not doing. Yeah. And then we look up and we're like, why am I stuck? Why have I not moved forward? Well, you're not moving forward because you're scared, right? Yeah. You're like paralyzed. And so your confidence grew because you didn't take a pill of confidence. You did the work. You like every day did the work. And so, yes, it did evolve.
I love it. I love it. This is so great.
Because you did it, sister. And now you're not scared of it anymore.
No,
that's the thing. We can look at our visions and be so scared of them. I mean, the vision board I'll share with you guys, there are so many images that terrified me. Like literally I could go on for stories and stories and stories about the fears that I had, and now I look back at them and I'm like, like that, it always when we look back at something like, it wasn't that bad, I didn't die, I got over it, or I got through it, I got past it. And that's that's the thing to think about also with fear, is like, let me just get through this. The other side is not that bad.
Another thought I had too was around, don't judge what your visions are, what your wants are. There are so many things, like, we think about vision boards, we think, it has to be, I want this family, I want this career, I want to get a debt, I want this house. Anything can go. I had a ring on my vision board, it's like, there's no small, have a combination, but don't judge what you want. If you want a certain car, no judgment, put it on there. If you want the man of your dreams, if you want to be closer to God, if you want to move to a different state, if you want to do whatever, put it on there, no judgment. I think that the key to a vision board is being very sincere in what your requests are of that. What do you want? What's that vision you want? And it can be diverse. It can be controversial. It's yours. You can share it or you may not want to share it. It's no one's business but yours. But I do hear people talking about like, I really just want my wants. I may have a lot of things that others want. I have most of my dreams, but I really want, this smaller, materialistic, lighter thing. And I think that there's some honesty you have to yourself. What do you want? And claim that as well. You can't, there's no big or small.
So well said. No big or small. And the judgment is essentially fear, just disguised like by a twin of judgment. Judgment of, can I have it? What will people say? Will I be able to sustain it? What if I lose it? What if I really can't have it? What will people think about me? So yeah, absolutely. Like that is fear. So eradicate it.
Yeah.
Or just pass it.
Yeah. One caveat though.
Yes.
Keep it positive. One thought I had in mind is that no judgment, put whatever you want. However, I personally believe that it should be what positive things you want for your life, not what negative harm you want for someone else. Like if your boss is driving you crazy, I vision she gets fired may not help you get to where you want to be. I vision my ex goes to jail, whatever. Those kinds of things aren't about you anymore. It's really about another emotion. I think the key to a vision board is getting really sincere about what is going to help you live the best life for yourself. And that's I said no judgment, but that's the one thing I'll say as a caveat to keep your energies focused on the right things. Because the more positive you are about your own life, the faster you'll get to your own goals.
100%. 100%. I mean, there's just no, when we're talking about like hoping harm for someone else, the only thing that's doing is eroding ourselves, eroding our spirit. And so it's absolutely detracting any energy that we could give to thinking about enhancing our life. So for sure. And I would say that that's not even like a judgment, right? I mean, you can hope that your boss gets fired without them dying, perhaps. But, you can hope to advance and have a different manager. Those are all great things. But, in terms of best practices, it is best practice to put on your vision board the things that you want that are positive for you and for someone else versus, again, that channeling that negative energy. I just don't see any good coming from that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, we talked a lot about vision boards and why we love them. How about we share some things? I do have, I know have a vision board from like back in the day and interim and all that. And I think it'd be good to kind of go through and see like what have you learned from your vision boards? What things have come to fruition? What things are you surprised by? Or things you're still working towards? I think that for me, vision boards, there's things that have definitely come true exactly how I envisioned. And there are things that came true, but not in the same form. And certain things I've actually evolved and I've not learned over time or have gotten a different format. So I think it's kind of a cool thing to kind of look through what actually happened with our vision boards that we've created over time.
Yeah, I love that. Can I ask you a couple questions too, Tam?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So in terms of how you use your vision board, I heard you did say so beautifully that you look at your house and you're like, I love you. But what do you do? Like, what's your practice with your vision board? Do you stand in front of it? Do you affirm yourself with it? Like, how do you use it?
Yeah. Can of worms. So I have this vision wall. It's a meditation corner actually. And I have on one of the walls, it's kind of the 4 quadrants of things that I want. One is about career. One is about just really, it's not even what I want to happen. It's reminders of like, relax and, be calm. Your health depends on it. And more so just words of affirmation that I use to start my day. I have a family piece, I have a health piece, and I have like a financial piece. And I kind of go around the circle and absorb all of them and kind of just read them again and kind of set my intentions for what I want for those things. And then I'll meditate. I love Peloton's app. Chelsea Jackson Roberts, your Spelman sorority sister.
That's my line sister.
That's your line sister?
Uh-huh.
I knew you were chapter sorors, and oh my gosh, I think she's amazing. I'll do one of her meditations, thinking about what she's saying and adding my own twist to it. I'll do some prayer, and then I have the crystals you gave me that I have, and just meditate over. But it's really me. It's me focusing my thoughts and then focusing my prayers and sometimes picking one. I may pick, today it's all about meditating on what pre-K program Reagan's going to get involved in. DC, sidebar, DC school system is it's a complicated beast. And we're going to do the whole DC lottery thing. So heavy on my mind is that. So that may be one thing I focus on today. It may be healthy pregnancy. It may be the home of our dreams, or it may be all the things. So it depends on the day, but I kind of take a moment to kind of step back and say, are these things still what I want and need in my life? Do I pull things off? Do I tweak them? Do I add names to them? And then just meditate over them. And I do that in various forms. Some days I'm sitting there a long time. And some days I don't have time for all that. And I just kind of pop in and just kind of like say hi to my visions again. Like, hey, y'all are here. We're here. We're going to start this day. And that's how I do it. It can be different every single day. I give myself grace for things that I have not achieved yet, but I appreciate that they're still there. And I'm grateful that I'll one day get to those places. So that's kind of my interaction with my vision board in the meditation space.
I love it. I love it.
What about you?
So very similar, can of worms. It depends on the day, and kind of the phase of life too. The vision board that I'm going to show is one that I made. I'll have to double check, but I think it was 2015. So, I mean, this was at the very, very, very beginning of my business. So when I think about this vision board particularly, and I talk about the fear aspects, that's I do hear this a lot with my clients, but it's a very personal experience. I used to look at this vision board and I would cry. I would literally be in tears because the things that are on here were so beyond what I thought I could achieve. And I didn't even know that I was in that kind of self-doubt. It just felt like, oh, I just want these, and when are they going to come? But the fear that was there, the sometimes could be debilitating. So it was interesting to be in relationship with this vision board where I wanted each of these items that I had intentionally chosen with this same kind of process of intention, of focusing on my goals, finding the images, all the things that we've covered, and really spending time recognizing how afraid I was of the things that I wanted, and things that I believed. Again, we're talking about those warring personalities. I mean, the spirit essence of me knew that the things on this board are things that were mine. These are my things. They're the visions that God has given me, and they make sense to me, and I have them sometime, you know, later in life. Then the warring side was, can this really happen? Do you really have what it takes? When is this going to happen? How is this going to happen? How are you going to make it happen? And so that was really interesting for a good while, that toggle back and forth of, you know, gratitude and doing the work, doing what I call the inner work, which is all of it. It's the mindset piece. So, but today, what I generally do is I do spend time with it. I like to look at it and think about, because it was, you know, such a long duration that I've been spending with this particular vision board, I look at some of the things that I have overcome, which has been really exciting, or why I chose that 5 years ago and why it's still relevant today, even if I have become comfortable with it, or even if it's something that I'm still growing within, it's still super relevant. I do a lot of meditation. I need to do more meditation probably with my vision board. I like that, actually, like focusing on it and meditating about it specifically. But I also do a lot of emotionalizing. So I try to, when I look at the particular images, I try to invoke the emotion that I feel like I would need to be in alignment with to create that thing, like courage, or fearlessness, or, you know, risk taking, whatever it is. I mean, girl, we can go on and on about all these various intentions, but the idea is that I really try to emotionalize the experience and really get into that mental rehearsal.
I love that.
As you too. I love it. How does your vision board make you feel? Does it make you feel good? You feel good about it?
Yeah. What makes me feel good, what makes me feel great, is that I've definitely had moments of that exact thing. I get surprised by it. That exact thing happened. I had a vision board that I started, it must have been 2016 or 17. And I was living, you know, in my beautiful apartment in Capitol Hill, and just my one bedroom, you know, the fireplace. Ryan taught me how to build a fire. She came over. Do you remember this?
I
came over my house. It was New Year's Day, and I cooked that day, and I had this fireplace. Like, I'm not gonna light this fire. And Ryan, I had all the wood.
Like, yes, you are. We're gonna be Girl Scouts.
I had the paper, and I'm like, and Ryan said, "Oh, I'm going to start this fire." And I'm thinking Ryan's going to burn my house down. But it didn't happen. And I love a beautiful fire in my home because of that. But anyway, sidebar, because of that. But, you know, I was living there, and I was going through homes and pictures of homes and magazines. And I love a beautiful, like a row house in DC. And I just cut it out and put it on my vision board. And I would say 2 years later, I moved into a house that's almost identical. Like, I'll show you. It's actually quite interesting. This home, I have all kinds, this is an old one. But this, if you can even see it. But I had this home that, if you know me, this is the home that I lived. If you came to that house in a different color was where I lived. And even the garage door, it's like exactly the same place. Oh my gosh, and it's like, I love it. So I think how it makes me feel is that I can have, you know, I can point to examples of that exact thing happened. You know, I had pictures of mothers and little girls and having this connection for years. I've had pictures of a wedding. I have pictures of a job that I wanted. I moved from corporate to nonprofit, and for a while, it's kind of like figuring out how that will work. And I had visions of like me working at a nonprofit that have come true. So I think for me, I can trust my vision board more now with excitement, because I'm like, I know I've seen the truth happen through these visions, that I believe these will happen for me in the future if I put my thoughts and attention towards it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Oprah has this really awesome interview that she did where she talked about she no longer uses a vision board because she's a powerful manifester, she says, which obviously she is. Yeah. And she said that what it comes down to is really aligning herself with the things that she wants, which essentially means believability. She aligns herself with, I want this thing, therefore I can have it. And I will not believe, even if the, 80% of my thoughts want to be fear-based, I'm going to ignore them. I'm going to only focus on the 20% and just go, 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 go. And I hear that that's what you have really adopted in your own life. And when you're saying you trust your vision boards, you trust your visioning, that's what that's indicating to me, that you are really a powerful manifester, that you recognize that your visions are yours, they're yours to have, and that the sooner you align your vision, your emotions with them, not only will they come more quickly, but the journey there will be less suffering. It will be excitement. It'll be joy. It'll be filled with gratitude. And what slows things down often is the drag of the emotions between the then and the foreseeable now.
Yeah, the fear. And there's a question about that too. Tool for overcoming fear-based thoughts.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Tool for overcoming fear-based thoughts. Well, let's see. Thinking about that kind of in the abstract. One, I would say, is recognizing it. Self-awareness is curative. So if you don't recognize that you're fearful, then that's like the first thing that's like absolutely missing the boat. We've got to get on the boat. And that sounds kind of obvious because, like, obviously you know that you're fearful. Well, really, sometimes we don't. Fear has a lot of different symptoms. You might feel anxious. You might feel at unease about something. You might, there's a whole host of like ways that fear presents itself. Now, also, fear is, again, something that's a very human experience. So we have become accustomed to sort of like living in a state of fear. We are, we're animals for all intents and purposes. So we have a lot of primal instinct around fear. So we can be triggered very easily. So it's recognizing that you are fearful around something specifically, recognizing it. Two, I would say it is being in conversation with fear, which sounds like you're in conversation essentially with yourself. So, for instance, I might say to myself, I recognize you. I see you. I see you, fear. I feel you. I certainly feel you in my system. And I'm going to now take action. That action is, I would say, step number 3, which is critical, because oftentimes we get stuck in that feeling. I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it. And the thing that I thought that I wanted, that I'm working towards, maybe I don't even want it anymore, right? Like the fear is so overwhelming. We like
you talk yourself out of it.
That it's so true. So taking action in the direction that you want to go is key. That can be as simple as writing down, right now I'm scared as shit. I don't know what to do. I'm terrified. Every time I think about this thing, it makes me scared and I don't know what to do. Oftentimes that can be emotive enough where a person's looking at it and they're like, girl, bye. Like, you're talking about, pushing a button so you can go live, talk about something that you already know about. I mean, whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, seriously? But, it gets out of you and you can now do something about it. So that's, I would say, like a 4-step process. Awareness, really get in touch with it, talk to yourself, talk to fear, manage it, and then do something about it and do something that pivots you out of your fear. Now, you may need to do that 100,000 times a day, and that's okay. In fact, that's normal.
And that's reality. And I think, how do you get yourself out of fear? One thing that helps me, what's the action you take, is I like to do, like, whatever the fear is, what's the best case scenario, and then what's the worst case scenario. Leaning heavy on the best case scenario, of course. But for me, let's say I loathe public speaking, for example. I get scared, I get nervous. I'm fearful of making a fool of myself. And I think about that. So I'll have a presentation, let's say at work, and I'll say, okay, here we go. And I got to and I have to do it all the time now. So it's just a part of the fear that I have to overcome. But I'll think best case scenario is I do an amazing job. What does that do for me? I build my brand. I look intelligent. I am accomplishing something that I didn't know that I could, or that I wasn't aware that I could do that great. And I have relief after, but I'm building my brand, and that is the goal. And that's the best case scenario. So the worst case is I flub a few words, but who hasn't done that? And then it checks me and saying, you know, the best case scenario is stronger and more impactful than the worst case. And the worst case is not that bad compared to the best case. So let me focus on what I need to do to have the best case scenario happen and focus on that. And the relief and the satisfaction will happen. So for me, it's kind of talking through what could possibly go right or wrong. And almost always, with most of our fears, the best case is so much more satisfying than the worst case scenario. In relationships, in finances, in taking a bold risk, if you really, really want it and you list out the best case scenarios for yourself, the worst case, and that's really where the fear is based in, becomes so much more minimal.
Tan, that is so powerful. Super, super powerful. And essentially, you're using visioning to kind of scope out both the most positive outcome and then thinking about a negative outcome. You're using visioning to like telescope towards each, and then you're really reaching into the positive outcome. You're saying like, this feels better. This feels more aligned with what you can do and what you know is really accessible to you. And then that empowers you to like take action going forward versus the believing of this other piece, which will keep you crippled.
Yeah, because we usually stay in the worst case scenario. We don't think about the best case. Think about oh my gosh, I'm scared because of these things that may never happen, but I'm scared of them, so I'll totally stay away from it. We don't think about how much more amazing our lives will be. You know, what amazing outcome may happen if you focus on that. So that's right.
Just get past the fear.
Yeah. And so, you know, so for IG Live, I'm not sure if we talked about this, there's an hour limit. So we're about 8 minutes away from being shut down.
And that was what took me, actually, that extra 30 seconds was because I ran to get my watch because I see that I have no time anywhere other than on my phone. Really? I can't see it when we're on live. So it's like, let me get this so that I can help you with that.
Yeah.
We have already done 52 minutes. That's incredible.
Yeah, I know. It's been so great talking to you. What kind of things we want to kind of start to wrap up on? If there are any questions, feel free. I love all the engagement. I'm reading everything. Monica, thank you for the compliment. Ryan's mom is on. Hi,
yes. Najim is on. I see a lot of awesome.
I love it. You guys are so amazing. Awesome. Thanks for joining and engaging.
Yeah. So what time is it again, Tam? My watch actually isn't even helpful.
It is 7:53. So we have.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have about 5 minutes left.
So I'll talk about one thing maybe on my vision board, and then like that, I'll just at least show it so you guys have a glimpse of it. Okay. So this is what I created back in 2015 around my business. And so I'll pick out a couple of them. So for instance, this here is a picture of a bunch of coffee cups. Not only do I love coffee, my girlfriends know that, but I'm in consulting. I'm a coaching, consultant. And so it's one cup at a time is how I create relationships. And so this used to scare me. One cup at a time. Like, who is it going to be? How am I going to find them? And now it's acceptable. Like, one cup of coffee at a time. This is how you build a business. This Oprah picture used to really scare me too.
Yeah.
But now I look at her and I'm like, girl, I love you. Like, we're friends. And then this last one I wanted to show you. Oh, two things. One, I'm in the vision board. So put yourself in your vision board. Yeah. That can be a very powerful thing for you to like surround yourself around the things that you want. And then this picture here is a Jenga set. And it reminds me that I just need to continue to make the next move before I get the windfall. So those are a couple things that I wanted to share from my vision.
I love that. I love that one cup. And Ayana agrees too, the one cup. It's like, how do you make this huge vision, this huge bold goal attainable? I love that.
Yeah, one cup at a time.
It's so pretty too.
Thank you. It's awfully big. It's made it through 2 moves, girl. I hope it makes it through another one.
This one is like permanently folded because I had it in my little journal.
I love it.
Way back when.
And to that point, I think you can put your vision boards everywhere.
Yeah, I have one that I can't move because it's too big, and this one I kind of like take everywhere with me. My old one. And one thing I'll point out here is that this is when I made this in New York. And there's a whole lot going on here related to life, love, career. But I really wanted to move to DC. And that felt very scary for me professionally. I had been, in corporate for all of my career at that point. I thought DC is not for corporate. I want to work for a nonprofit. But if I get laid off, if I lose my job, no one's going to hire me here because I don't have that experience. But I had an image of, let's see, a girl looking out the window, DC.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and then I had someone
That
working
looks
in
like
the
outside
community.
Christina's old apartment. Look at that. You envisioned her apartment.
It sure does. Christina, you see that? That's from some magazine, but
That's
thinking
so
about, so
fun.
at that time, you know, this was, it seemed so unattainable to move to DC and to move from corporate to nonprofit, which is very much a part of my life now. So it's good to kind of hold on to them too, to see kind of how far you've come and what's evolved and where you are.
For sure. Awesome. So Tam and I want to make sure that you
Yes.
get we created a vision board checklist with 6 steps on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can get this by going to inspirebrandconsulting.com /vision-board. So it's inspirebrandconsulting.com /vision-board. And you will get your 6 steps to vision boarding to amp up your vision board process.
And we'll include that in the caption, and when we do the replay of this, we'll make sure that you have that as well.
Yes.
And it's to keep the conversation going. Definitely that checklist can help you as you're taking the time to go through the magazines or going through your creation of your vision board. Those things can help you with that. And I think what would be a great thing to also do is keep yourself accountable. We haven't gone through the actual cutting of creating the vision board here, but get a few friends, maybe do a virtual vision boarding party, and also keep in touch with us too as well. If you want to be bold and share your vision board, post it to your Instagram page, tag us. It's also your business too. So if you want to like DM us or let us know how it's going, that would be great as well. But I think, a good way to be accountable. Yeah, again, we were talking about accountability the other day, about how to make sure that once you have your visions clear and you create this thing, how can you get some support from friends and others to make sure that you're staying true to yourself? And someone had a question about what's better, a physical vision board or a digital. I would say whichever one you're going to use and see. Like I had a picture of mine on my phone, so as I'm at work, I can look at it or on the go. And I had a physical one. I say whatever's going to help you get to your vision.
Agreed. There may be some tactical experience of flipping through and touching and cutting, but I don't think it's enough to make any kind of difference whatsoever.
Good. I love it. All right. Well, I don't want to get shut. Do you have any last word? I don't want to get shut down before we say an official closing.
Like in the middle of a conversation. Well, you check out Record Roots. We're excited to announce the winner of our giveaway, and thank you to our amazing sponsor. And again, their dream was a dream at one point, and now it's a company that is serving many people. It's in Target, it's in Kohl's. They're killing it. Both Tam and I use their products, so thank you so much to Record Roots and to Ione and Ellen for being our sponsors today, and being examples of just amazing women who are killing it with their visions. This has been so fun, Tam. I really love you so much. I love seeing you. I love seeing all of our friends and family and people that I'm meeting for the first time online with this IG Live. It's just so awesome.
Definitely. Thank you so much for sharing this space. And thank you all for being here. I love all the engagement, and it's really been a positive conversation.
It has been.
Thank you all so much, and we'll have the replay on both of our pages.
So amazing.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Love and light to you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Bye.
Bye.